All right, here we are. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your friend Sean. Hopefully, everybody's having a nice day. Hopefully, everybody had a nice night. Wherever you are in the world, hopefully, you're doing okay. So, we got some upcoming training in California. We are challenging some of the laws that are out there, actually. And if you're chiming in from another state, I think that you'll gain some insight on some newest advances in the private security industry as a whole. I'm going to keep this video short, maybe about 15 minutes long. I want to talk about what is upcoming. What is the laws in California as it pertains to PCCs, pistol caliber carbines. So, what's the legality of it, right? If you're in California, you are regulated by the Bureau of Security Investigative Services. They're the regulatory arm for private security, private investigation professionals in California. And if you qualify under a certain caliber, you are authorized to carry a firearm that has that caliber. If you qualify with 9mm, you're qualified to carry a 9mm firearm. Now, this is the problem. The Business and Professions Code and the Penal Code is very confusing. There's no clarity at all. And there is so much minimal clarity that when I talk about something, BSIS catches a hold of it. A subscriber will send BSIS a question, and then all of a sudden, their admin, the BSIS admin, gets a hold of my content, and then they contact their legislators, and they pass new laws. What's up, Giannis? For example, I talked about that if you are a firearm instructor, a BSIS firearm instructor, you can qualify yourself. I talked about when you have a BSIS firearm permit, I talked about how you can add 5.56 on there. You can add 300 blackout. I challenged that, and some time ago, maybe 8-9 years ago, maybe 7, I got a phone call from BSIS telling me that I can't qualify myself. And I said, excuse me, ma'am, where does it say in your regulations or in any regulations that I cannot qualify myself? And the lady at BSIS, she said, well, it's common knowledge. It's a conflict of interest. It just is. We are the BSIS, and this is something that we're telling you. So we're removing you the ability to qualify yourself as an instructor. So you have no regulation that says I can't. And she says something to the effect of, I don't have it right now off the top of my head. She also said, I'm removing your 5.56 300 blackout qualification. Okay, ma'am, where does it say I can't qualify with that? Well, first off, you can only qualify with calibers that come from handguns that are on the California Department of Justice roster. This is the safe handgun list. And 300 blackout, 5.56 is not on there. Okay, so how about the Benjamin Franklin armories? How about their line of AR pistols? Mute. Anyhow, we got regulation. Right after the conversation, a few years later, we got legislation that says that instructors cannot qualify themselves. And then they removed, I think like 2 years ago or a year and a half, they removed all 5.56s and 300 blacks. You can only qualify with like 5 different calibers. Okay, so that's what they did. Hold on, guys. All right. So we're going to be putting on, in conjunction with Citywide Protection Services, CWPS, we decided to put on probably a 2-day DMR post-certified class. And I'll get to the legalities in a minute. A DMR is basically your acronym for Designated Marksman Rifle. This is basically kind of like a mini sniper class. I've never been in the military, but your DMR, it is my understanding that a DMR is assigned to a squad, and their capabilities are pretty much their marksmanship abilities up to 600 yards or 600 meters. Whereas an actual sniper, somebody who's designated as a sniper in I would think the Army, maybe the Marine Corps, you're going way past that. I mean, you're going maybe 2,000 meters, 3,000, 3,200. That's the main distinction, is one is trained a little bit differently than the other, and one trains at further distances. That's really the only difference. Now, in the law enforcement, the private security side, private security side, right? Now you're wondering, Sean, that's not even legal for me to have. I can't have a PCC, pistol caliber carbine, in our patrol units. Let me ask you this: where does it say you can't? Okay, if your permit says 9mm, in my honest opinion, it doesn't matter whether it's a rifle or a pistol. It is a 9mm, right? And I have a formal document. I have a document from the BSIS that I've maintained for the last 8-9 years that says that the BSIS does not regulate the type of weapon. They regulate the caliber. I have that in writing. And I published that in my book, The Private Patrol Operator, in the 2nd edition and the 3rd edition. I've saved those minutes, guys. Okay? And it's gotten to the point, I don't want to say I don't care anymore, but let's just say you want to keep it in your trunk just in case something happens. You know, I do me and you do you, right? Is that legal? I cannot go on camera and saying that's legal or not. All I can tell you is your permit says 9mm. It doesn't say 9mm pistol. It doesn't say 9mm carbine. That's it. Now, if I worked for a security company, and you guys know I got law enforcement credentials, right? But if I worked for a security company and we were able to carry a PCC in our unit, I would carry one with confidence. I have my exposed firearm permit that will show 9mm. There's no differentiation. If a police officer wants to arrest me for that, I'm going to own that police department. We're filing the lawsuit, and they're going to be paying out. Okay. This is going to be a pretty neat class. It's going to be exciting. We're going to be focusing on the 100-yard discriminatory shot, which means we'll have hostage targets set up at 100 yards. We'll have you zero at 100 yards. A lot of the targets that we have will be done at 100 yards, and we will push it all the way to 200 yards. We'll push it within 70 yards, but the focus is a 100-yard shot, which is also known as 300 feet or 3 football fields away. Is that something legal to do in the private security sector? I'm not saying you're going to take a 100-yard shot. I'm not saying that. I'm saying is what the focus is: precision. If I can get you within a 1 to 1.5, maybe even pushing to 2-inch hit, okay, within a 2-inch grouping, between 1 and 2-inch grouping at 100 yards. If you get a real life situation where you got to take a shot at 25 yards, I'm going to have confidence in you. Your bosses are going to have confidence in you, and others are going to have confidence in you because you're able to consistently take those 100-yard shots. We'll be talking about setting up your shop, setting up your hide, right? I mean, I don't want to call it a sniper's hide, but it's a DMR hide. We'll be talking about that. And what ended up happening was me and Randy from Citywide Protective Services, we just finished the 40-hour post sniper instructor course, and we got to observe and pressure test our own weapon systems And we got to basically do numerous field experiments on all the rifle systems that came in. We know what works and what doesn't work. And we have connections out there that we could contact if we have any questions. Now, if you're asking me what should I bring to the class, I would probably say 200 rounds of it's going to probably be match grade ammunition. Now, let's just say you're running a PCC pistol caliber carbine. It's going to be as matched as possible, right? You're not going to be showing up with your 115 grain, 147 grain, 124 grain Winchester regular target ammunition. You're not going to pass the qualification if you show up like that. You need the proper equipment. Scope wise, our advice to you guys: you could do first focal plane or two focal plane, second focal plane. We are running a 1x10 Sig Sauer Tango MSR scope, which only costs about $430. Okay, we magnify all the way to 10. If you want to come in with an 18 magnification, a 32, 24, it's up to you. But our recommendation is at least a 10x. You could come in with a 7x. 6, I think you're kind of pushing it. But guys, this is going to be an exciting class. And if you're chiming in from another state, I think it's worth coming to. Some of you in security might be wondering, what the hell do I need this class for? Like, we're just security. We just patrol malls. We just patrol government buildings. I'm not going to say what you need or what you don't need. All I'm saying is maybe this is something that you need. I don't know. Are you going to be able to articulate a 100-yard shot? You're going to have a difficult time doing that. But it's not just about the distance. It's about the precision. It's about the precision, speed, and your ability to handle that rifle or that carbine, whatever you're bringing into class. You have to, now to come to class, you need to be a current law enforcement officer, and you need to have, if you're private security, you need to have a BSIS exposed permit, minimally that, and no violent felony convictions, and you guys know the rest. We have the ability to exclude anybody that we deem unsafe or who wouldn't pass muster, right? The background check. At the end, there's going to be a qualification. Okay, you're going to have to probably shoot on a hostage target situation. If you don't pass, then you fail the class, right? We got to have some standards. That's all I got. If you guys are interested in this class, send me an email. My email address is shown in the description box below. Let me know. This is nothing we got approved yet. This is something that we're working on, possibly February, maybe January of 2026. I don't know yet. And it will probably be in Imperial County. If you want us to go to where you're at, we can do that. We just won't make it post-certified. Because in order to do so, we have to get a traveler's permit if we want to do this class in other counties, which we're probably not going to do. There's no guarantee we're going to be able to get this class post-approved. However, between us and citywide, we've had like 21 classes post-approved. They meaning post, has never said no to a class. I mean, I know there's going to be a day when they're going to say no, but they haven't said anything yet. All right, guys, that's it. If you have any questions, concerns, then feel free to reach out. Take care.